Hi, this is Bob Samuels from Tech Connector and the ABM Leaders Group, and happy to see you. I have two of my favorite ABM leaders here with me, Erica Short from Cisco WebEx and Rohan Salkagar from Avera Insights. So welcome. Erica, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Good. It's a pleasure to see you again, and I'm looking forward to our full ABM leader event on actionable intelligence on September 9th. I think it's gonna be a great group, and I'm delighted that you're gonna be on the group.
Yes, very excited. Thank you.
So we were just having a quick chat about data, and it sounds like data, intent data, and data that you're gathering out there. You've got different needs for different sorts of situations. Sometimes you need very fresh data, and sometimes you need deep data. It all depends, I guess, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Right now we just started our new fiscal year. And so the data that we're looking at is a lot of third-party data to understand our customers, our market, so that we can build a go-to-market strategy. And so it's a lot of data right now to understand the total addressable market, the customer needs, what are they searching, what are they doing, so we can actually cluster intelligently based on that data. And so we're not just going out to market with everything based on what we feel is best, but actually being more customer centric, relying on that data intelligence for us to be intelligent with our go-to-market strategy. And then we're constantly throughout the year looking at, like you said, there might be some fresh data intelligence that we need to look at, and that is engagement, understanding what they're doing, what's working, what's not. And then whenever we see a big market shift or we're in a new quarter and we need to look at our campaigns and look at our go-to-market strategy, we pull in that deep data intelligence as well.
Beautiful. And you mentioned third-party data. You're using first-party data as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So our first-party data is to understand account engagement. What are they engaging in on our website, with emails, messaging, our different tactics that we execute, that first-party data, understanding that. And then we compare that also with third-party data, as are they coming to our website, or are they not coming to our website, but they are searching our competitors or researching those key terms that we're looking for as well. That's big for us, because then we understand that we need to do a better job of targeting them to bring them to our website, or we need to change our content and messaging based on their needs so we can bring them in and attract them that way.
Beautiful. And I guess it's also a potential sign of potential risk, I guess, if people aren't using the system much.
Exactly. So we pull those reports, first party, actually combined with third party. We can pull that anytime for us. It's really big for us because we can look at, we know that these accounts have opportunities and they are at risk now because they're no longer coming to our website, and we can see that they're searching outside. Or we can look at it also of, this account does not have an opportunity, they are white space for us and they're coming to our website a lot. And that is a flag for us to do more to reach out to them as well.
Beautiful. And you've got some, I guess you put some time into figuring out who the ideal customer profile is, either by the market or by the individual users or use cases.
Yeah, exactly. So we really have a persona-based approach. So our products, especially for WebEx, they touch all of the different end users. As we all know, we are all end users of them, and we all have different roles, but we also have all different needs. And so we want to make our messaging and our go-to-market strategy specific to those personas and their pain points and needs. HR has a different need than operations, and the CIO, our IT department, has different needs than us end users as marketers as well. So we really take a look at that, and that is our go-to-market strategy, to make sure that we reach out to those lines of business based on their needs, to attract them to come in. Because I feel like if we did it for everybody, it's like the old saying, when you market to everybody, you actually market to nobody. And so we try to be very specific in the persona's use case needs. and not so much the vertical. We do vertical at a high level, but I am noticing that once we bring them in at the top of the funnel, it's that middle and end funnel where we really have to get very personalized and specific for that user.
Beautiful. That's the where that precision marketing comes in.
Yes,
Very
absolutely.
customized.
Yeah, and it's different throughout the funnel that I'm starting to really see how you bring them in, but then how you keep them moving through. We had an old saying of, the funnel it's like a margarita glass, and I want to make mine a champagne glass. So I want to bring in those very high quality at the top of it, so I can keep pushing them through and actually see them move through with higher quality. I tell my salespeople all the time, I'm going to deliver quality, not quantity. So we still get those quantity, we still have those quantity tactics that we run. But for our target accounts or our named accounts, if you will, we are very specific in those places to bring in quality.
Makes sense, Rohan?
Yes, so a couple of interesting points from your perspective over here, Erica. When you mentioned about third-party data, which is also validated with your first-party data, how important is this perspective? Because we have seen third-party data. It's pretty, I won't say shallow, but it has a very directional approach. It has a very 30,000 square, kind of a feet overview of a particular market, of a particular, perspective of technology, customers. And because it's third party, they cannot really get into understanding the pain points and challenges on your behalf. So how, what do you think, needs to change over there? If you had a choice, if you had a choice that, this is what I would want from a third party perspective or third party data, so that your time to take a decision, your time to change that margarita glass to a champagne reduces considerably. And you are able to have more data as well as real-time access to information, which is important at that point of time. The earlier points of discussion, that the essence of time factor, a lot of third-party data might not be updated. A lot of third-party information might be obsolete, or the numbers could have been exaggerated. So that becomes the second point of the discussion, that, what is the kind of, the hardship that goes into to kind of make reality of that information which is coming out from the third party, and that you would probably want to make a change or a recommendation.
Yeah, so great question. And I feel that when I first got started on my ABM journey, there was a ton of data. And it's almost like when there was too much, I didn't know how to act on it. And so third-party data, the way that I look at it with the team is, like you said, it can be very broad to where we can't even do anything and we're spending more time. I wish third-party data would align how we go to market strategy. Be like, I know Erica as a marketer cares about this, so I just am going to give her this to take action on based on the play that I put in, right? So it could be, I want to know intent for these key themes and topics, and only see that. There's third-party data where we need to look at our total addressable market, understand how many employees do they have in this space, how many remote workers do they have, how many offices do they have. So there's that third party. It all depends on the objective that we're trying to achieve and be able to look at. There is some ABM platforms that we've used in the past where we want to just look at this third-party data for the action that we're trying to take. And that is super helpful, but it's, especially here at Cisco, we have so much data. And sometimes I've noticed since I've started here, it's like too much data, now we're not going to take action on it. And it's really being prescriptive of what we need and why, and then pulling that in. And I think where I would love to see third party go, and I've seen a couple different ABM platforms doing this, is they really hone on what the marketer needs, but then they also have things that my marketing operations needs or my sales needs, because those are different views for those different teams that we need. And so I am starting to see that shift happening with some ABM platforms, but totally agree, especially when I first got started, it was so much that I didn't even know where to begin. And now whenever we're sitting at the table with sales and marketing and operations, we're saying, what do we need and why? And let's get very, descriptive of what we're trying to achieve in order for what data we need to view.
Sounds good. So having the choice now that you have kind of narrowed down your perspective and you've been very focused on what information do you need, does that change your criteria also to kind of be very, there's no dearth of vendors and sources from where you can procure intelligence today. Now that you've learned what is exactly going to be hitting your pain point, and the way you mentioned, based on your play, does that also make you a little selective about the criteria in which you choose your partners for market intelligence? And you don't look at the product or the research itself, but you also look at how it is being built, who's building it, and what is the kind of experience. Does that also go into thought now?
Yeah, absolutely. That is a big play in us understanding of where are they pulling from? Is it where we want? Where is that data coming from? Really understanding that, and then how is it served up to us? The user interface as well is super important, because we have to be able to scale and we have to be able to be agile. So we have to be able to look at the data and make quick decisions and actions based off of that. And it's also very critical. There are so many vendors now that have data intelligence, that have intent data. And it's really, whenever we look at those and start justifying and start going through with those vendors, it is, where is that coming from? How often is it refreshed? And then what is the user interface of how it is delivered to us? That's very important to me and my team, because a lot of the team is up and coming ABMers. I mean, we all are. We've all been learning this. It's always shifting every year. There are new products, there's new solutions. And so it's really important to me to understand, how is that data delivered to us for us to be actionable based on that quickly, and being able to scale that across globally or regionally. And with limited resources, we have to be able to be agile and scale based on the data that is being delivered to us. So that's a really important factor that we look at as well. So
just to add to this question over here, and I'm sure Bob also has another question lined up. We are talking about actionable intelligence over here. The intelligence that actually helps us to take decisions. One of the biggest factors of actionable intelligence comes from something that we have been calling as competitive intelligence. We definitely do not know today what exactly is the perfect competitive intelligence. Is it the right strategy of your competitors? Is it just the information of your product? Or merely just looking into how they look at customers and how we look at customers, just trying to find a gap between that. Having said that, do you think competitive intelligence is slightly overrated, where you probably should be focusing on your customers and the product channel, but CI gets a little more credit than it deserves? Do you feel that?
Great question. So it's a great question, because we're always competing. Everybody is always competing. My thing that I say is, like, I just want to be customer centric, and I want to look at their pain points and help solve them. That is one thing as a marketer that I look at too when vendors reach out to me. It's, do you know my pain points and how are you going to help me solve them? It is not, well, this competitor does this. I think once you're later down in the funnel and sales is working that opportunity, there are different things that we can look at there. Again, different times to look at different data intelligence based on where they're at in the journey. But we hone in on just being customer centric and making sure that we really understand their pain points and how we're going to partner with them to help solve them from that point of view. I don't look at it from the top from a competitor perspective, because we're always competing. But if we put the customer first and their needs first and talk to them based on that, I think that is when you start to build those relationships of becoming a trusted advisor. I know for me as a vendor, as a marketer looking at different vendors, I want to start there. But then as we get way later in the funnel, there might be like, well, I heard that you have a competitor that does this. How do you guys compare? I think that those questions come into play a little bit later in their journey.
Beautiful. Good questions, Rohan. Thank you very much. Erica, it's a pleasure. Look forward to seeing both you guys on the 9th. Any other words of wisdom for now? Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Thank you again. I appreciate it. And we'll talk soon.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you. Take care.